Okay, think about this for a second. That show you just binge-watched, or that work document you shared with your team, it all just seems to exist, right? Floating around in some digital space. Well, that invisible engine making it all happen is cloud computing. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the good, the bad, and the trade-offs. So let me ask you this. When you save a photo to your Google Drive or fire up a movie on Netflix, where is that file actually living? I'll give you a hint. It's not on your phone. It's not on your laptop. It's out there in a massive global network of servers that we all just call the cloud. At its core, cloud computing is actually pretty simple. You're basically renting someone else's computer. Instead of owning all the expensive hardware and software yourself, you're just accessing it over the internet from these gigantic data centers. It's a simple idea, but wow, has it completely changed, well, everything. So why did this become such a revolution? What was so great about the cloud that made pretty much every company, and let's be honest, every single one of us, move our digital lives online? Well, the advantages were just too good to ignore. First off, let's talk money. I mean, it's a huge deal. Just a decade or so ago, if you wanted to launch a tech startup, you'd need a small fortune just to buy and maintain servers. It was a huge barrier. Now, you can just rent exactly what you need from a provider like Amazon Web Services and only pay for what you actually use. And if your app suddenly goes viral overnight, no problem. You can scale up your power instantly. That kind of flexibility is an absolute game changer. And it's not just about money, it's about freedom. The cloud completely tore down the physical walls of the office. You know how it is, right? You can start a report on your work computer, make a few edits on your phone while you're grabbing coffee, and a teammate halfway across the world can jump into that same document and see your changes happening live. Your work is no longer chained to one desk. And maybe the best part, all the boring, tedious upkeep just goes away. Remember worrying about backing up your files, or your hard drive crashing, or having to manually install software updates? Yeah, that's all a thing of the past. The cloud provider handles all of it. Your data is backed up, your software is always up to date, it's all designed to just work without you having to think about it. So, let's recap. It's cheaper, it's incredibly flexible, and you barely have to maintain it. It really does sound like the perfect system, doesn't it? Almost too perfect. And that's the big question, isn't it? With anything that seems this good, there's always a catch. There's got to be a trade-off. What exactly are we giving up for all this amazing convenience? And this brings us to the other side of the coin. Because for all the amazing things the cloud does for us, we are handing over our precious data, our digital lives, to someone else. And that decision, well, it comes with some serious compromises. It really boils down to this one central conflict: convenience versus control. On one side, you have this incredible, seamless, easy-to-use experience. But on the other, you're giving up direct control. You're putting your trust in their security, you're relying on their hardware, their rules. It's the fundamental bargain of the cloud. And the most obvious trade-off, the one we've all felt, is that you are completely 100% dependent on the internet. If your Wi-Fi goes down, boom, so does your access to your files, your apps, everything. And it's not just your connection. Remember back in 2021 when a big chunk of Amazon Web Services went down? It wasn't just one website. It was like a huge part of the internet just vanished for hours. Then you have the trust issue. You're handing over your most sensitive information to another company, trusting that they'll protect it. And while their security is top-notch, let's be real, breaches can and do happen. You're also subject to their rules, their policies, their price changes. At the end of the day, you're basically a tenant living in their digital building. And beyond that, you've got these hidden hurdles that can sneak up on you. That awesome pay-as-you-go model, it can lead to some truly shocking bills if your usage suddenly spikes. And what if you want to switch to a different cloud provider? Good luck. Moving massive amounts of data is incredibly difficult and risky. Plus, there are all sorts of legal hoops to jump through to make sure you're compliant with data privacy laws. Okay, so that's all the theory. But how does this all play out for the companies we actually use every day? Well, for them, it's a constant, high-stakes balancing act between using all that power and managing all that risk. And you can really see this tension in every category. The amazing scalability that lets a company grow in an instant, that also makes it super hard to predict what their bill is going to be. And while you get world-class security professionals protecting your data, the risk of a breach, well, it never truly goes away. You see the pattern here, right? For every pro, there's a corresponding con. Let's just take Netflix. It relies completely on Amazon Web Services to stream movies to millions of people at the exact same time. It's a feat of engineering they could never do on their own. The trade-off? The absolutely massive cost of transferring all that data. Or look at Dropbox. They give us seamless access to our files from anywhere on Earth, but in return, they have to wage a constant war to keep billions of our files safe from hackers. So after all of that, what's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing you should remember? A line from our source material really just nails it. The cloud isn't good or bad. It's just a tool, an incredibly powerful one. It gives us possibilities we could only dream of before, but it also demands that we stay aware, stay connected, and stay just a little bit cautious. And really, that leaves us with the final question. And it's not just for giant companies, it's for every single one of us. As we continue to move more and more of our lives onto the cloud, we have to ask ourselves, are we okay with this trade-off? Is all that amazing convenience worth the control we have to give up? Something to think about.